Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Red Brothers Pod. I'm Victor, and today I'm joined by a very special guest.
Hello, my name's Alfie. I'm a Spurs fan. We're here to talk about the upcoming game tomorrow. Big game for Spurs and a big game for Liverpool as well.
Yeah, for sure. Semi-final, second leg. So, yeah, definitely an important one. Today we're going to see the Arsenal-Newcastle game go down. So we'll kind of see who will be facing up in the final potentially. And just getting a little bit into the game, Alfie, how are you feeling before the game?
Well, yeah, I mean, a big thing for us obviously was the Van de Ven injury. Even I don't know what's going on with Romero either. It's so up in the air at the minute at Spurs with the injuries. It's just like you don't even know if you're going to get an A team, a B team, or a C team. Like it's a bit mad. But apparently Van de Ven won't be back, so that literally gives me like 50% less chance of us winning. I don't know how you feel about that, but I mean,
yeah, for sure. Van de Ven not being there, he is a great centre half, and he brings a lot of pace when defending back counters and stuff. So it's definitely beneficial for us him not being there.
I think he literally plays to our style. Like he's the perfect centre back for how Spurs play because
for sure.
When they have Gray and Dragusin at the back, they don't have any pace. They just play out so quick all the time, and when it comes back to them, we need someone to kind of recover.
Didn't you guys bring in that Danso from Lens? I believe he's Austrian.
The thing is with transfers like that, I'm literally know him from FIFA. That's like how, and I know people won't admit that. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, I know him."
I'll admit that I packed his tops on FIFA last year.
Yeah, literally, and that's normally a good sign that they're good. So I remember before Romero came to Spurs, I packed his team of the season or team of whatever it was on FIFA before, so I knew it'd be decent. But yeah, that's the only thing you know about, because you don't watch foreign football, do you? And you can create a clip of like any transfer that look good.
Yeah.
But I have heard, normally with that kind of stuff, I'll look at like sources from actual fans of that club. And normally, if you go on like the transfer, the fans will comment on it. Like with Archie Gray, I remember obviously he's been pretty good for Spurs at his age. All the Leeds fans will commenting on the bottom of it, saying like, "Oh, we've lost someone good. Like, look after him, all this good stuff." So that's usually a decent sign. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say about him at the moment. I imagine he'll be ready to play for that game. But I imagine he'll start as well, because with Dragusin's out of an ACL now as well. I don't know if you saw that or not. Yeah, he's out for the rest of the season. Yeah.
So yeah, he was definitely kind of a must-complete signing for you guys then going 100%. Into the second half of the season. And I mean, you did need another body at the back. Archie Gray, bless him, he's not a centre-back. And he is a really good talent. And my kind of concern with Archie Gray is that people will kind of look past his talent and like look at his centre-back performances when it's not even his best position. So I think it was definitely key for you guys to kind of bring in another centre-back this January.
100%. I mean, with Archie Gray, let's do a segment on that, because I think he's just been brilliant. Imagine being 18, coming into you might say top six. I mean, we can debate that or not if you want, but he's literally playing centre back in the Premier League every week. And yeah, we've had terrible results, but he's still putting in the shift.
I mean, we came to Spurs for the first leg, and you guys kept a clean sheet with Archie Gray at centre back.
Yeah, which is crazy.
It goes to show that he is a certain level of footballer, and going forward in your midfield, I'm sure he'll definitely be a useful addition. But I mean, what sort of way do you think Spurs are going to line up?
I mean, obviously, I don't know what's going on with Solanke as well, because he was out, and then I don't know if he's back again. I think he has some illness problems, so I imagine it'll be Richie starting up front.
It could be Matthias Tell. So I don't watch foreign leagues, but I am quite familiar with Tell. He has obviously played at Bayern. I see him a few times in the Champions League. One of my close friends is a Bayern fan, so he's been telling me all about him for a long
good
time.
Things.
Yeah, very good things. He's a very good young player. It's just whether he has that experience to kind of come in and make the impact that you guys need.
He's always going to struggle coming to the Prem, I feel like always. It's like, when do you remember the last time a player's come in and took the Prem by storm that hasn't already proven themselves? It doesn't happen very often.
The only one I can think of is Cole Palmer, but obviously he was at City previously.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Most of them have already had previous experience in the Prem, so especially when you bring in foreign players, it's always just different kettle of gravy, the Prem, innit? But some of them like it better, even like with Salah, what did he do? Didn't he do Chelsea, then Roma, and then come back again? It was rubbish when he played for Chelsea the first time, wasn't he?
Yeah, he weren't great, and then he went out. He got his flowers in Roma and Fiorentina. Ended up back at Liverpool.
Did he go Fiorentina? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he was on loan, I think, from Chelsea. I remember that team. It was him and Juan Cuadrado at right back.
Oh my God, that's a hell of a pair. Is he still playing?
I think he's still at Inter.
He's brilliant.
What a player. But yeah, I mean, definitely some concerns on your end regarding kind of injuries going into the game.
Oh yeah,
I think
lineup you were saying, weren't you?
for ourselves, I think it's only really Trent that's out for this game. He picked up a bit of an injury versus Bournemouth on the weekend, and it's not a too long one, so he should be back for Everton next Wednesday. But he's not going to be available tomorrow.
You got Everton in a week, haven't you? That's their last game. That's their last game.
Goodison Park,
I remember
big
that.
game.
I saw that. In regards to obviously your score prediction, what are you thinking?
So I think it's pretty self-explanatory, really. It's going to be Alisson in goal. Could be Kelleher because it's a cup game, but I think Alisson started at the Tottenham Stadium, so I think it will be Alisson. It'll be Bradley at right back, Konate and Van Dijk, and then left back, it'll either be Tsimikas or Robertson, of course. I'm not too sure. I'd probably give Robertson the nudge after a good performance at Bournemouth, so I think it'll be him. And then obviously it'll be Gravenberch, McAllister and Szoboszlai in midfield.
You play midfield through, or do you play 2 DMs?
So it kind of rotates throughout the game. We'll shape up in a 4-3-3, drop down to a 4-2-1-3, and kind of be fluid in between. So it depends. Like in build-up, McAllister will drop deeper and play that double pivot with Gravenberch, and then when we get the ball up the pitch, it tends to turn into more of a 4-3-3 with Gravenberch as like the lone DM. So that's kind of what we're looking at in midfield. And then obviously up front, it'll probably be Salah, Diaz and Gakpo. I don't think Jota will have enough to do 90 minutes yet, so I think
does he not get much game time in a minute, Jota?
Injuries, just in and out the squad with constant injuries, and there'll be little niggles that just hold him back for a game or two, and it's been inconsistent. But
he's well good, I think.
Jota is quality, his finishing is just deadly, and you put him in the box, he's gonna score 9 times. I feel like
one of them people that's quite good with, like, when they get a through ball, they can just hit it first time and put it in well, like actually finish it properly, like what Son used to be like every single shot.
And so Alex isn't on the pod today. He's currently playing a game, so we're obviously a man down. But me and Alex always call it Jota Jam.
Okay.
Like he just manages to find a way through defenders. I remember there was a
That's
goal
what you
he
need.
scored.
That's what you need.
There's a goal he scored against Chelsea where he ran literally right in between Disasi and Colwill, straight through them with the ball. Somehow managed to keep it, knocked it over the keeper. It's just Jota Jam.
That's what you need, though. That's what you need in a good team. Like that's what I feel like. That's something Spurs are missing a little bit at the minute. They haven't got. Son used to be that like guy that used to just like turn up and get you a goal, and he's just been off the pace and massively.
But I think Solanke's picked it up. I mean, I've been really impressed with Solanke this
I think
season.
he's brilliant. I think if you
his link-up play as well.
You look at his stats; they aren't amazing, but he's proper hold-up striker. Like,
this is the thing: a lot of people look at stats too much.
Yeah.
Like I watch a lot of the top 6 sides play in the Premier League almost week in week out. So I've seen a lot of footage of Solanke playing, and it's what he offers you going forward. Not only with goals, but his hold-up, how he includes his winger in the attacks, and he's an all-round great number 9. And
100%.
I think that if he does play tomorrow,
I don't know what's going on with that. This is what it's like at Tottenham right now. You have no idea what's going to turn up. Like
I understand, man. I can't keep up with Spurs at this point.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But I mean, a good win on the weekend for you guys. Brentford, I didn't expect that. If I'm completely honest,
it was one of them ones where when they don't play well, they were like, it's hard because you can say a team's all over you, but if they're getting towards your box, but not actually getting many shots on target, they were putting a lot of balls over. They weren't really doing very well in front of the goal. And then you just punish them like that. That's what them teams are there for, like Brentford and then middle tier.
Brentford have given out a few nosebleeds this season.
I know, they always do though. But I think like nowadays the quality is so high that every single middle like
team can give
away.
Yeah, look at Fulham and all these other clubs.
Yeah, because they have like runs and you think, oh, wait a minute, this team's actually looking pretty sick. Like Bournemouth right now,
before they played us, they were 11 games unbeaten. It was the longest
people
run.
were saying that you were gonna struggle to get a draw with them. And then you just went. I think you guys were quite lucky as well. Weren't you?
Very lucky. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I was a little bit ill at the Bournemouth game, so I wasn't able to kind of do like a post-match chat about it. But just a quick one now. We were lucky. They had chance after chance. They were drumming our goal. Alisson proving his worth, really. you know, probably the best goalkeeper in the world, and he went and shown that with quality saves. They missed an open goal as well.
Have you seen that clip where it's the exact same
City,
the exact same thing happened?
Crazy.
Was it Clive that missed it?
Yeah,
It was so weird.
Crazy.
Like, the only difference was a little bit. The ball went a little bit higher on the City one, but like it was like identical.
I do not know how we kept a clean sheet. I think I posted on the Red Brothers Pod Instagram right after the game, and I posted like, how did we get out of there with a clean sheet? Because to this day I still don't know, but I mean, hopefully there'll be a bit of confidence going into tomorrow's game for the defence to be able to obviously keep a clean sheet again.
From your side of stuff, obviously you've like won a lot of stuff for Spurs. This is just like way bigger than any of it.
Of course.
From your side of stuff, how like important do you rank like this game in regards to like other games? Like say you got like a decent Prem clash, like let's say you got Arsenal or something like that.
Arsenal.
Do you rank this like, oh, it's another cup game, or this is actually quite important? Like,
so Arsenal in the Prem would be more important to this just because of circumstances. But let's say we had Palace at home next Saturday, I'd definitely prioritise this game. For me, being a football fan is about winning silverware, whether it's the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. It's you know, these things still ain't easy to win. So, you know, when you are able to win it, it's a great feeling. And, you know, the last couple of years, we've won the Carabao Cup a few times. And, you know, I've enjoyed it a lot throughout those years where we've won it. So, you know, for me, it is still quite an important game. And it's definitely one that I want us to win.
Yeah, because I always wonder with that. Like, obviously, with Spurs, like such a even being I'd say this is the biggest game for a while. Like, it's ridiculous. But even it shouldn't be for a team like Spurs, but because they don't won anything, it's got such big pressure for them to get to the final. And even if we have a final in the works, it's like that idea of that. It's just so exciting, isn't it?
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I always wonder from like the sides like Liverpool, not United, I suppose, are one of the little things, aren't they? But they're a little bit off the pace.
Yeah, recent years.
Like City as well. Like when they've got like a cup tie like that, is it going to be like? So say you lose tomorrow, you're going to be like fucking like really pissed off, or you're going to be like, whatever. We might win it. We're going to win the Champions League anyway.
So I think the only time I haven't been pissed off after Liverpool lost was the PSV game. Which was in the Champions League literally a week ago.
That was when it was 3-2, right? Well, a bit of a stupid game.
We was already through, and we got first place even whilst losing. So that was the only one where it didn't really hurt. But I mean, I kind of see every game as competitive, and you know, I want to win every game. So when we don't, it does get to me. I'll be honest, even if it is just a Carabao Cup semi-final.
It's obviously interesting. Yeah, it's interesting to hear that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different kind of thing. But in regards to tonight, obviously Arsenal got Newcastle. Yeah,
2-0 down going into.
Is there even any hope
ground.
from Arsenal? Do you even think it's in my mind right now? I feel like there's the Arsenal. If Arsenal obviously is not away goal aggregate anymore, is it? So if Arsenal scored 2, it's then straight to the
penalties. I think. Yeah,
I can see that happening, man. I swear Newcastle lost, didn't they, recently?
Yeah, they lost to Bournemouth, and then I'm not sure what.
They had that really good run, didn't they? 10 wins in a row. Isaac was banging loads, and I think they dropped off a little bit. But
that's the thing with Arsenal; it just takes one moment of not concentrating, and Isak will punish you. Like I saw it when we played Newcastle away. They started the game a bit better than us. We kind of took initiative past half time, and Isak just rifles one into the top corner 25 yards out, and there's nothing you can do. Yeah, I mean,
it's hard to say. I mean, at the minute, there's like no. If you actually think about deep how poor the striker quality in the Premier is right now, like literally,
it's crazy.
Like compared to like back in the day when you had like the Suarez's, and even I think now Kane's left the Prem, people realise how good Kane was as a striker. I mean, not only a striker but also a defender and midfielder.
Kane was largely disrespected in my opinion. He's one of the best Prem.
That's the one thing I just don't understand. Like, this would be the biggest rant for me ever. I generally think he's one of the best players I've ever seen play football.
Because I think it's just that just comes down to club bias. I think it takes a certain amount of man to be able to stand back, look at another club, and go, "Wow, he's brilliant."
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't have that. Yeah. So
especially with Spurs as well.
It's easy for me to do because we never kind of saw like you guys as sort of competition for the titles we were going for. So Spurs have always kind of been like. Not my second club, but like I don't mind Spurs. I really like them, and when you had that team with Pochettino and Dele Alli, I'd regularly watch Spurs because it was just quality entertainment. And you know the way you guys play football, it is fun to watch. And even now with Ange, with the high line, I know it doesn't bring results, but it's entertaining football.
That's what we're doing it for.
Exactly.
We're watching it because it's fun. But I mean, the thing in regards to that, I mean, that's what I like watching.
Like trust me, you don't want to get to this point, man, because when every Premier League game feels like a Champions League final,
I suppose so.
Especially with the
Would
levels.
you rather be 15th or 14th right now? I mean, what's
okay,
it's different than that. Yeah.
But I was just kind of talking regarding when we were in those title races with City, where it was 1 point that kind of decided it at the end of the season.
You can't even draw.
The stress of every single game. You're going into the 80th minute at 1-1, and mate, you're thinking about jumping out the window at full time, and then a winner goes in.
Sitting there refreshing the Premier League table, hoping that like there's some goal differences count.
It's crazy, different. Man. But I would definitely prefer to be on my end than your end at the minute.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's always. I think a lot of clubs. I mean, the only thing I kind of say is like City. Over the last couple of years, I don't even know if I want to be a City fan. You know what I mean? Like maybe obviously when they first came up, they got all the good players, but like last 2 years. Like even now, I kind of think they're getting what they deserve with kind of like this. Like,
but funnily enough, my dad is a Man City fan, and he was actually saying to me like he's happy now because he finally feels some emotions towards football because he was winning for so long. I guarantee
you now, I'll happily go on and win Mercedes. I bet you there's some City fans that turned up for that last parade thing that in the Premier League there, but they didn't even watch any games.
Probably.
But they just had the notifications on their phone.
Yeah.
They probably just watched it a bit, saw we scored, and probably flicked it off because it wouldn't be entertaining.
And those are the same people that jump on Twitter and go, fucking Haaland's the best striker I've ever seen.
I guarantee it because there's no way you're sitting there. Like, I'm a massive fan of Spurs, but there has been some situations where I haven't watched the game for whatever reason. I'm sitting there on my phone and I'm kind of refreshing it, and I hate doing that. But there's guaranteed there's some City fans. I tell you what, they ain't not finding some dodgy stream to try and find the game.
Some of the websites.
They're looking at 3 p.m. kickoff and going like, "Oh, that ain't on telly. Whatever. I'll go do something else."
The 3 p.m.s are rough, man. Yeah, Total Sportex, shout out.
Oh, you were right. You got your Polish thing.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously everyone's got a dodgy box now.
Yeah, everyone's got one. I think we should kind of change topic before the wrong ears are getting this information.
Better be quiet, actually. Don't put my name in this tag. But yeah, I mean, it's good stuff. I mean, and Spurs. Yeah, but back to kind of Spurs style of play. And you said earlier about that you quite like Spurs as well. I do feel like some people Spurs is quite like a team that people don't like to admit that they like.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'd agree.
You know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of people that kind of have Spurs as maybe like their second team that they secretly kind of like to watch, but they don't really like to kind of obviously say they like to follow them.
Of course, and I think that comes down to the fact that, Spurs is known for this style of play. We're Spurs, we play forward, we go forward, and that's enjoyable to watch because, like you said, of course, for yourself as a fan, it might be a bit difficult at times when you're conceding chance after chance and the game's
the craziness
of the
game. It's
but when you're a neutral like myself watching Spurs, it's quality because there's constantly something going on. If it's not you guys getting attacked, it's you guys on the counter attack, and it's back and forth the whole game, and that's sort of what football's about. And I think what's happened with football recently in regarding to social media and all of this stuff, I think it's become more of a product where people care more about goals, assists and only wins. But football's so more than that. It's about moments throughout the season that are unexplainable to someone that doesn't support that team. But if you support it, you know just how important those moments are. Like for you guys getting to that Champions League final in 2019,
it's more the journey for that.
Exactly that. And it was same for us in the year before when we went Kiev and lost to Madrid. We lost the final, but the memories of the semis, the quarters, the round of 16, that's going to stick with me till I'm dead.
We've got a kind of partnership on that for that Champions League one because that was the most two insane semi-finals ever. That's even. I know that your Liverpool's one was obviously sick and the Barcelona game was sick, and there's debate between whether the Ajax game's better or the Barcelona game's better. But that game with Ajax, but the people forget that the game before that was the City game where it was 4-3. When they needed
Marcus Llorente, was it?
Playing up top, like absolute donkey. It's like one of them players that you literally thought, he's tall, put him up top. No Kane even. We had no Kane for that entire run.
It was Lucas Moura.
Then he came back for the final, and he put him in for the final, and obviously that final was ridiculous. What do you think about the handball? You know, it's like literally hit him like there. Second minute of the.
I think it's very harsh on you guys.
Yeah, it just killed it, didn't it? That goes down as one of the worst finals in history, doesn't it, for the Champions League?
But I think there was there was Bayern PSG after that finished 1-0.
Was it
great.
Choupo-Moting, wasn't it?
Random No, that was Kingsley Coman scored for
Was
Bayern.
it?
That the Choupo-Moting was a knockout game, a different year.
Okay. I remember that,
But this one was the COVID year, where Bayern won the treble, I think. The final finished 1-0. It was a boring game. The year before that, City-Chelsea as well, the Havertz goal.
Yeah, wasn't there? Last one was City-Inter, wasn't it?
No, the last Champions League, Dortmund, Real Madrid.
Before that,
last year. City Inter. That was pretty boring as well.
That's one thing I've obviously said before about Spurs' style of play as well. I don't know about you, but sometimes I do worry for footballs. I do feel like it's going down a point of where it's a bit like every team's playing the same. Like now everyone's trying to play out the back. Even like Southampton, they'll like play out the back loads.
They can't do it.
Why are you doing that?
Exactly. You can't do it well. Why are you doing it?
The issue that you're eventually going to find when you have so much stats about players, everyone's on a sick diet. Like back in the day, it was a bit of skew with, so you could have these kind of like random things.
Exactly.
But now it's very much like everyone plays the same. They all do the same thing. So I just don't want it to get to a point where like it's just like crossing each other out. There's loads of like 1-1s and 0-0. You don't want that. That's why I think teams like Spurs, it's good because it's going a bit direct that kind of agenda.
Yeah, sure. And I think that's what makes you guys so enjoyable and to watch, kind of. And Spurs have been known for playing that style of play for years now. And, like I mentioned previously on the Pochettino, Dele Alli, with Kane, that link up.
How do we not win anything with that, though? It's crazy.
Just a Spurs thing, man.
I know,
sorry.
yeah. Why is it the case? Though? It's so it's so annoying. What is it? It has to be.
I think it's psychological. I think there's so much pressure for you guys to finally It's a bit like England. So
that's what I mean. Imagine being a Spurs fan and an England fan. People say it's the worst thing in the world. Like,
probably.
Anyone that watches this clip, they commented they were Spurs and England fan because it is the worst thing ever. And they're the same thing. Like,
literally.
My dad always said since I was young that someone, whenever it was when Spurs was made, they put a curse on Spurs because it
could have been. Because it's silly how long it's gone on, and I think you guys brought kind of different coaches in. You had your Contes, you had your Jose
different
Mourinhos,
styles as well, all different.
Yeah, and nothing seems to be working. And to be fair, for me, the kind of thing that did it for me when it came to Spurs was when the Super League got announced. It was the weekend before the Carabao Cup final where you played Man City, where I think it was 1-0. I think one of the defenders scored a header or something. And they sacked Mourinho the day before the final because he said that he doesn't want to be involved in the Super League. So they sacked their best opportunity.
I didn't know that was the reason. I never knew that was the reason. I thought they just sacked him because he was due to be sacked, I remember. Yeah, when they get to that point when they want to sack him.
But what other reason would you sack him before the final? Yeah. And then Mourinho publicly stood out and said, no, I don't want to be part of the Super League. And then Spurs sacked him. And then the Super League never happened. And it's like, you've just thrown away your best chance at a trophy you've had.
Probably was. And I don't know if you remember that game or not. I'm pretty sure it was 1-0. Ruben Diaz scored a header in the 88th minute or something like that.
It was a late winner,
That's that one where it brought up the stats. It was like Pep Guardiola finals.
Ryan Mason
1-0-0. Like, it's ridiculous.
That was silly.
That was ridiculous, But that's a good example. I mean, even though any trophy at this point is what Spurs need, any trophy. So even that would have been perfect for them. But
Audi Cup?
Yeah, I suppose that counts. Yeah. I mean, we haven't actually said score prediction for tomorrow. What do you actually expect for score predictions?
I think 3-1. I think Salah's going to score 2 and maybe Diaz. I think, I just think it's going to be hard for you guys to cope with the constant attacking pressure we're going to give.
It's going to be like that, isn't it? It's going to be Spurs. But the thing is, Spurs, they don't want to play the opposite way. But if there's any game where Ange needs to change it, it's going to have to be this.
Anfield away. Yeah.
It's going to be this game. Well, even the fact that we're 1-0 up as well is like, oh, we've got an advantage, but not really. If it was 2-0,
different game.
You'd be thinking, okay, this is going to be hard for us now.
Yeah, for sure.
1-0 is like, you can easily
because you get a goal early enough in the game, and all of a sudden, Anfield's up, the crowd is up, and people are cheering, and it swings that momentum in our favour.
I suppose if we score early though, that's going to make it interesting because you've got even if you score 2. If we get it to extra time, it's anyone's game, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's going to be good. It's going to be good either way.
It is going to be a good game. Really I am really excited.
Honestly, I don't even know what to say for score predictions because I reckon he's going to play. He's going to play different to how he usually does because he has to. Okay. I think we'll probably go a bit more defensive.
But I've never seen him play different.
Well, against who did we play? Who was it we played against? We did a first half where we played a little bit different to usual.
All right.
I don't know if it was Brentford or not. might have been a game we just played now. It was noticeably a little bit different in the second half. It was he went back to normal again. I think maybe he was just like testing it to see whether how it would work. But yeah, I mean, when you drill, if you have a team and you drill into them and they've got to constantly play fast football, you don't say to them, let's play defensive. They're still going to have that mindset to play that way.
That's kind of been like the growing pains for Slot at Liverpool, because Klopp was so direct. And it was as soon as you pick the ball up, send it forward. And now Slot's come in and kind of said, like, yo, guys, like, chill out. Turn around, hold the ball a bit, play it back. And the players are visibly struggling with it. Someone like Trent, he's very direct. And you see him and he's trying these ambitious balls when that's probably not what Slot wants him to do. So I think in terms for you guys, it would probably be a bit hard to kind of make a 180 flip the day of the game, but I mean, it's doable.
You've been preparing for it, because people have been saying before he won this weekend, it's been up in the air that he didn't have a job anymore, and then people have been saying the only reason he's got a job is because of this. After this as well, we've got Aston Villa. I'm pretty sure it's away in the FA Cup as well.
Right.
We stay in that. If we stay in the FA, Europa, and thinking we're that low down in the league, and weirdly enough, I was saying to my dad the other day, it's got to the point now with Spurs in the league where if we've got a league game and it's like we win, we go from 14th to 13th or 12th. It's not even like we're not. We're obviously not going to get Champions League football now, are we? So we've got to try and conference maybe. Well, but we're better off just sacking the league off, trying to win the Europa, which we're favourites to win, or one of the trophies. Get a European spot that way and then go through that.
Yeah, I agree.
Which I can see happening. It's a Spursy to finish 15th in the league and win a trophy. That's what it is. So then, that's what I'm hoping anyway. I'm hoping.
I hear you.
Yes.
I mean, the best route to Europe would probably be that Europa League.
It's got to be,
guys.
100%.
And you look at sort of like the big teams left in the competition. You're only really looking at United that are kind of like competitive to you guys, and I believe that on your day you smash United.
Well, beat them twice,
like you
showed. I was at the 4-2 when we played them in the cup.
Yeah,
that was the craziest game I've ever seen live. They were literally 3-0 up out of nowhere. Fraser does that 2 mistakes and Son scores from a corner.
For your guys' sake, thank God Fraser is
Son fought from a corner. Me and my dad was like, thank God we can finally leave, because it was a late kick-off as well, and getting the train back, we didn't want to get it back late. Left at like 91st minute, walking down Tottenham High Road. If any Tottenham fans watching this, basically, whenever you go to Spurs, you've got to do a 25-minute walk no matter what. So it's the big like road where all the Spurs fans walk down. And walking down there, and I look on my phone, I see 4-3, and I'm like, oh my God, if they score again, we've got to go back because we've got to watch the penalties. And I was like, Dick, just sitting there refreshing. I don't know if you've ever done that before. He's sitting there refreshing the app, waiting for the full-time thing to come up and doing that. And I was like, thank God. But that's what I mean. That's exciting. It's better than me going all the way to, well, not all the way. Obviously, you've got to go 3 hours to watch your games, but ours is just an hour's train. But going there and then having that rather than going there and seeing like a 1-0 or a 2-0, this is good. So it's kind of you get what you pay for with Spurs. They get you entertaining games, but they also don't get you many trophies.
Yeah, I see that. But I mean, you've just brought back a nice little memory. I remember over all those years competing with City, more often than not, I would be watching City games, just praying for their downfall, really. But when I wasn't able to watch it and they would like be dropping points like 1-1 or losing, I'd sit there on my phone, and until I saw that the game was over, I just kept refreshing. I'd be there 10 minutes straight from the 80th minute to the 90th minute.
Then it comes up saying goal. It's like pending VAR. You're just like, it's ridiculous. So it's like, do you bet on any games or not?
Sometimes.
Yeah, it's like when you do that as well. When you have a bet and it comes up saying goal, that's suspended, and you're like, oh, what's happened there? Like you're shooting yourself. But I remember when City were quite prone to doing a couple 1-1s and like late minute ones, weren't they? When you were competing with the trophy.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, I wouldn't say prone, because I think overall we dropped points in like 6 games out of 38 that season.
But I think they did a couple of risky ones where they were like, they conceded like 2 in the first time, then they go back and win 3-2. They've done that quite a lot, City, haven't they? Like been like 2-0 down, then come back and win loads. I remember them doing that.
The most memorable one was Villa. 21-22 last day of the season. I was in Turkey.
Oh yeah,
I was in Turkey.
All that stuff about Coutinho score. Did he score a brace? Didn't he?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And Gerrard was the manager. It was literally aligned in the stars.
That's like
that Gerrard.
That's a dream. That's like a feat. Like, not even like a good dream, just a weird dream that someone's had. Yeah.
Like Gerrard leading Coutinho to be 2-0 up at the Etihad. We're winning at home to Wolves. The stadium's going absolutely mental. And then you just see City come back and do what they do.
It wasn't even that. I thought that comeback wasn't even that like they had that much oomph to it. It just kind of happened. We're like, oh, brilliant! They just come back. Like that, I completely forgot about that game. What an era! That's so weird to think. That's like it's good having them players and that manager and the storyline behind it. That's sick. I mean, that's what the Premier League is, isn't it? It's brilliant. Isn't
so thank you, City, for the many years of therapy. I've enjoyed it. Anyways, yeah, I mean. City was definitely tough competition, and you know it created that kind of City-Liverpool era where we were fighting for the title every year. So yeah, it was a good era, but you know it's interesting to see what's going on now.
It's just your era. I mean, what do you think for the Prem? Like, do you think you've pretty much got it in the bag?
I hate this question. I hate it because
from outside point of view, I look at the league and I'm like, yeah, you've won it.
Yeah, and I think that is kind of like the overall opinion. It's just. I kind of have PTSD from this happening with City, being ahead of them coming back and us not winning the league in the end. I think that's kind of the only thing that stops me from kind of going, yeah, we've won it. But, I mean, things are looking great.
You know, 9 points clear on it. Same
6 points clear, game in hand, which we're playing on Wednesday. So if we beat Everton away...
but it's just going to be hard, though. If you say you've dropped points there, I know you've got Arsenal, but is it like 4 game weeks away from the end?
But that is at Anfield, which does play in our favour, because I don't see them coming to Anfield and getting a win. And I believe that if they do want to win the title, they do have to win at Anfield.
Not as much as obviously I'm going to say it was Spurs. They still haven't got it.
No,
like they're almost going down a similar path as Spurs, where they're becoming a bit of a meme.
Yeah,
like the stuff like when they with the Haaland thing, thing. You know, obviously Lewis Skelly did the celebration. I don't know if you saw today. I saw on Twitter that the Premier League come out with a statement saying they're going to like, watch for celebrations from now
give
on.
Cards out.
That is literally woke.
Utter woke nonsense.
Literally, get literally Sean Dice in for that because that's unbelievable.
Where's the green wall?
Yeah, literally, like how can you do that? But anyway, and especially after Haaland like threw the ball, that's what it's about. Like when he threw the ball in and like the charity.
Yeah, it's a rivalry. Anyway, that's what it's meant to be. But in regards to Arsenal, I think we do kind of have to cover this quick. I just think it's a bit tin pot from them. I get the rivalry side of going, having banter in between rivals. But this is exactly what Haaland was saying. Stay humble, and then at the first opportunity, these lot lose their heads.
What I was going to say was at the end, they played like the tunes like "Stay Humble" by Kendrick Lamar.
It's just too much.
And like even when I was playing Spurs, like when Lewis Skelly was coming off the bench, he's like getting everyone out, and I'm just like, all right, like you obviously. And the big thing that Bernardo Silva came out and said, I think he said like the difference between Arsenal, Man City, and Arsenal is that when Man City beat Arsenal like 4-1 or 5-1 a couple of seasons, or
it's just another day in the office.
No, they won the league on the back of that.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But Arsenal, they're not. They're celebrating like that's won the league, but
exactly,
Man City are sitting 4th or 5th, and you're sitting 6 points clear. Like.
And I think that's kind of the problem. They're so focused on that rivalry with City that they're forgetting that they're 9 points off the top of the table.
They're very so salty towards everyone. Obviously, Mikel Arteta as well.
It looks like a Lego, hasn't it?
He's just an idiot. Sorry, he's an idiot. He's only an idiot. I don't care.
But it's just for me, like I understand enjoying a game, but it just gets to a point where it's too far. And now your whole personality is built about stay humble and all of this. Where, pardon me, where it should be 3 points, job done, let's go again. But it's like whoa.
Yeah, that's why I feel you guys have got quite under the belt at the minute. Yeah. It's like okay, 3 points to the next.
Literally,
you don't like make a big deal out of every win. You're just like,
of course, we enjoy certain games more than others. So when we beat United away 3-0, very enjoyable. Of course, we had some banter about that, but we still knew that there's a job to be done afterwards. So we can't be walking around puffing our chests out because we got 3 points on the board, because you need 90 to win the league. And that one game isn't going to get you to 90.
What are you? How many points are you on now?
I think it's 46, if I'm not mistaken.
Seems like there's not that long left of the season, I guess
there's 15 games, I think, left.
Okay.
I'm not too sure. I could be wrong on the exact points. It's either 46 or 56, and then Arsenal are sitting on either 50 or 40.
Okay.
I think they're on 50, yeah. So we'll be on 56.
90 points, it feels like a long time, like far away still,
But I mean, I don't think 90 points will be hit this season. I think we have been good, but not that good. I think we will drop points. Arsenal are going to drop more points. It's going to be interesting.
It's been a weird league, isn't it?
It has been. I think because City fall off, and straight away it's like knows their spot. Like no one knows where they should be. And obviously the emergence of kind of Bournemouth and your other sides like
and
that.
the massive drop of Spurs and Man United.
Yeah,
Typically they'd be around. Well, at the minute it's hard to say, but you'd think anywhere top 6, really, or top 8, you'd get but then they completely dropped out of that, so that allows for like Fulham, Bournemouth, and these teams to go out, and obviously Nottingham Forest as well.
Yeah, wow,
mad. Yeah,
we forgot about them. Yeah, Forest are unbelievable this season, and you know it's definitely been. It feels like someone's doing a career mode on them.
Yeah, I don't even understand. I'm not, to be honest with you, I've not watched much apart from just obviously I've got Chris Wood in my FPL and he's just banging me points all the time.
I can imagine.
But they're just, I think these teams have these things, these moments like this when they're not stopping. That's the thing. They obviously lost 5-0, didn't they?
And then they go win 7.
Yeah, which is.
But I think look at individually the sort of players that Forest have. You know, Chris Wood individually isn't a great striker, but you know he's hit a good patch of form. But if you look around their sort of squad, you got Hudson-Odoi, you got Alanga, you know, these are wingers that played at the top level in the Premier League, and you know they've been able to pick them up and kind of give them.
They've reignited their spark.
Yeah,
it's
exactly
not like,
that.
I suppose so.
Because the thing is, everyone's kind of surprised by Forest, but I don't know if you remember. I certainly do. When they first came to the league, they brought something like 35 players.
Did they?
They've spent a hell of a lot of money to get where they are, and I think this is another type of thing that makes me laugh about the Premier League a little bit. You go into the start of the season and Chelsea were kind of competing with us for first, not for the title because it was obviously way far away, but they were competing for first and everyone's praising Chelsea, but are we forgetting that they just spent £1 billion?
Yeah, I know.
Like, I understand giving credit where it's due, but at the same time look at the hard facts and go, oh, so Liverpool, whose net spend is for 200 million over the last 6 years, are outperforming Chelsea, who have spent £1 billion in the last 2 years, and all the praise is going to Chelsea.
Yeah, it's
Do
true.
you know what I mean? It's like
Chelsea's weird, man. Like look at Chelsea's like starting 11 last night. They did play last night. West Ham.
West Ham.
And like you think how much money they spent? Like what the hell have they got to show? They loaned out João Felix again, didn't they?
To AC Milan. Yeah.
Obviously, Cole Palmer wasn't even. I suppose how much did they pay for Cole Palmer?
Not a lot. It was like 40s.
Yeah, which is even. He wasn't even part of like the big spend, was he?
Yeah.
Obviously, they paid for 200 million for both their midfielders, didn't they? Enzo and Caicedo, which I would say that. I don't say they're world class, really. Would you?
Caicedo, I think more so now. I think he's kind of stabilised his position and kind of shown his worth. But Enzo Fernandez,
and then just got this like there's just this abundance of centre backs, like these young like French and English centre backs. I'm not gonna lie, like, they all mix into one at one point. I don't even know which one's which. Like literally, like they've got so many like different centre backs. It's just like what on earth is going on with this team? And obviously they've got keepers dodgy.
Yeah, that's the craziest. And like I saw something recently. Kepa's on loan at Bournemouth performing. Petrovic is in Strasbourg in France performing, and they have another keeper performing, and this was all in the space of one weekend. All of them had like 8 point something plus ratings, and you see Robert Sanchez 5.9 versus
Didn't
City.
they have like 7 keepers at once?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Weird. That's the biggest problem with Spurs as well. They don't invest, they don't spend. Like it's even that Tell transfer is like massive for Spurs because you just don't see players come in.
But it's not even a transfer, is it? It's a loan.
Well, it was just a dead loan then, and apparently Postecoglou's has made him agree to a buy option clause as well, which I didn't.
From what I believe, I think Bayern said there's no option to buy because they want to keep him for the future. Yeah,
I imagine from their side they probably thought, right, he's got a young talent here. Obviously, Kane probably spoke to him as well. I think he come out and said Kane spoke to him. He's probably said to him, listen, go there. It's got good facilities. They've got good. Obviously, Spurs' facilities are brilliant as well. Yeah. Outside of football, they've got amazing places, but even their stadiums. Like, I don't know if you've been to Spurs. Have you?
No, we've driven past it. It does look very.
But it's even not even that. It's the inside, like how clean it is, the food available in there. Obviously, the beer thing.
The beer it pours through a surface.
No, just literally put it on the side. It fills from the bottom up.
Mad.
I don't know how it works. It literally just got like that. You put it on and it fills up from the bottom.
That's crazy.
But yeah, anyway, I can't remember what I was saying.
But to be fair, just regarding kind of stadiums, I always kind of prefer the old British stadiums.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's just something about it. You get an aura,
gritty, like a bit of like when you see like the rain falling through.
Britannia,
Britannia,
Stoke away. It's cold. It's a Tuesday, and it's brilliant.
That's even from a Polish man as well. Yeah,
and
like the really disgusting toilets as well, like bubble, like gritty toilets.
Can't imagine how much gear's been sniffed.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean that's what at Spurs, most of the toilets when they got all open cubicle. There's one cubicle. But what cubicle is like enclosed, basically for people to do shit, obviously, a bit of gear or something. And every single time that you can just see like 3 or 4 people queuing up, and you know they ain't going for a shit. You know they ain't going for a shit every single time. Or I've been in the urinals before, and I've seen to just do it in there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which is
but
mad.
yeah, I mean, I think it could be biased because of the way Anfield is. Of course, it's been modernised over the last few years, but just that kind of close, compact feeling you get at these grounds, I think
like
that's
a bit
what's special.
metally fit, like that sheet of metal. You know what I mean? Like
and they're banging on it when they score.
But I mean, obviously, you go to Spurs, you see it is amazing in there. Like it is a banging stadium.
Because I think, just regarding that quickly, I think the best example of it is sort of West Ham. With the Olympic Stadium, when they were at Upton Park.
That's rubbish, man. Seeing how far away they are from the pitch.
That's what I'm saying. When they were at Upton Park, it was an asset to West Ham. They created a great atmosphere. It was a tough away game. But now you go to the Olympic Stadium and it's like the fans are 40 metres in the sky.
We was competing for the number. I think Spurs United and West Ham were competing for that stadium.
Oh, really?
Do you remember Spurs had that season in Wembley, didn't they? Which is really weird to think about. But yeah, I think
I remember you battered us.
1920, I think.
Nah, it was 18. No, yeah, 17, 18. Because I remember we went there and we lost 4-1. Dejan Lovren got subbed off at half time. I remember that game.
Which
that was
weird
2018.
to think, but we were competing for that, and obviously then we decided to build our own place. But yeah, that's the weird time. But they were competing for the Olympic Stadium. I think now, like if we got that Olympic Stadium, wouldn't even be good.
Nightmare.
Like it literally is unused. It's just like they had to use for something, and West Ham managed to go in there.
Give it to them.
I think every single I've got a big West Ham family. All my cousins' side, all from Essex, and all of them are the same opinion that Upton Park's way better. Like,
because the atmosphere it generates, the feeling you get.
It's like home feeling, isn't it? Like
when you walk through the turnstiles at the start of the game and you get that feeling. I just can't imagine it being quite the same at Olympic
It's a big thing about Liverpool as well, isn't it? They've got that. Obviously, Man United have lost it a bit. It's not a surprise, I suppose, that Man United's results are rubbish. The stadium's falling apart. Like they've probably lost that
because the club's being run poorly.
There must be an energy when you go to a state like Anfield. There's an energy that you can sense. That you remember the Arsenal documentary when
Arteta's playing "You'll Never Walk Alone." Yeah,
stupid. Yeah, and then they lose like 4-0 as well, 3-0 something like that.
I remember that. So this is the best example of Arteta and Arsenal like not staying humble and getting punished for it. So it was 0-0 in that game, and I can't remember. I think it was Nuno Tavares fouled Mane around the halfway line. Arteta lost his shit, started going mental, arguing with Klopp. Free kick gets given. We score from the free kick. Go on to batter them 4-0 because he riled up the crowd. Yeah. And this is kind of what I was referring to earlier, just staying humble enough in the right moments and understanding the levels of certain things.
It's being like, okay, yeah, we've won this and move on to the next. Like this is a little bit of like whatever, on to the next one, you know what I mean? It's like when Ancelotti, every time that Real Madrid scored or whatever used to score, it'd be like, the eyebrow, didn't even.
The eyebrow was scary, man.
Not even bothered. I suppose Slot has done that quite well with you guys, but you don't see him celebrate loads. I think Postecoglou does that quite well as well, a little bit, but obviously he's too used to being on his knees and his head in his hands at the minute. But I do feel bad for the guy. I mean, I
do, because I think he is a quality coach.
I think he's brilliant.
I think so.
He's got that energy. I feel like he's got that energy about him. He's got a bit of aura, hasn't he? Like actual good aura.
And I think it's kind of not maybe specifically, but it's very reminiscent of kind of when Klopp came into Liverpool. Yeah. He's trying to make him play a different style of play. There will be some growing pains, but on the overall, I do think he's a good asset to have at your club. And, you know, he's a great personality as well. That's just as important when you're a manager 100%. At a massive club. Yeah, because, you know, these fans are tuning into your interviews. You know, what you say in the presser is more important than the performance the team put out on the pitch sometimes. So I think Postecoglou he's definitely a great manager, and I'd hate to see him get the sack because I think he's good for the Premier League. And you know, all right,
Who
mate.
who would we even get? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point in sacking him?
I don't think
it's
there's
intrusive
anyone
whole
in
start.
Europe
Even if we lost, even if we lost this Liverpool game, I still think they should keep him. Like,
I agree.
If they should give him this entire season again, and make sure he gets all his players back, and then go from there. Because
that's what I mean. You can't really judge Spurs fairly.
It's like giving him broken tools.
Yeah,
it's like giving him broken tools.
Because that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And people are easy to jump on it and quick to jump on it, but I do think that it is a bit unfair. And you know, people say, "Oh, you can't use injuries as a excuse," but every fan base does it. I remember when Van Dijk had that knee injury after the Pickford challenge.
Yeah. I remember that. And then some guy on Twitter like messaged me saying, "Don't worry, if I see him out, I'm gonna like do him in for you," or something like that.
But we had a guy called Ben Davies from Preston and Ozan Kabak at the back from Schalke, and that was like our strongest partnership at the back that season, because of all the other injuries. And everyone else was saying, "Oh, you can't blame the." We have the best centre back in the world out injured. What do you mean? The injuries don't change anything, and especially for you guys, where
it's just
Van der Ven,
it's the mass of them now. Obviously, Van der Ven out is a big commit, but it's the mass.
It's not even. For me, it's not the. Of course, there is the large quantity, but for me, it's more so of the individual attributes that these players have on offer. For Ange to play the way he wants to play, he needs the pace of Van der Ven, and he needs the pace of Romero. So when them two come out, and there isn't someone who's just as fast and just as good at defending as them, then you will see a decrease in the quality of the side, and probably a decrease in results.
It's options as well. Like we had even players like that Odegaard. You know, he started at the start of the season. He was injured. Having players like that, and obviously we haven't got we had now Johnson for the last couple of games. Madison's been out as well.
Obviously on fire at the start
and
of the season.
Having like them players on the bench to bring on and develop and build, you need that as well. You need decent subs, and maybe bringing on like 19-year-olds and 18-year-olds.
Because that's kind of what has gotten Liverpool in this position. It's because we not only have arguably the best 11, but if you look at sort of the other players we have in those positions, it's the strongest squad depth in the Premier League.
Yeah, true.
And we have two players in each position. Trent comes out for the Tottenham game. Connor Bradley replaced, no problem.
Yeah.
And that's what makes title winning sides, that if one player is off it or just one player is out, you pop another one in and the results stay the same, and you haven't got that sort of continuity to be able to sort of do that on a regular basis. And you know, a few positions on the pitch, maybe you know, if for example you're starting a front three of Son, Solanke, and on the right Kulusevski, and you've got Maddison in the 10, then you've got Brendan Johnson, and that's what I mean. So you guys have it in set positions, but it's not all over the pitch. I think if you look at Liverpool, the biggest injury we've had this season is Alisson. He was out for a big chunk of the season, and Kelleher comes in, and you can't tell the difference. And that's how you win trophies and titles, because even in the Carabao Cup, you know, we go away to Spurs when we lost 1-0. I know we lose 1-0, but we stayed competitive in that game with a rotated side. So we rotated the side, allows us to play a better team in the Premier League. And, you know, if you guys are now coming to Anfield, let's say the roles were reversed and we had the first game at Anfield, there's no way on earth you'd come with a rotated side, because it's not of a high enough quality. Whereas when you have these sorts of players where, you know, you look at our attack, we've got Gakpo, Diaz, Nunes, Jota, Salah, Chiesa. That's two in each position that are really, really high quality. So I think that is kind of like the difference maker for you guys. And with 100%. All the injuries, you know, not having that backbone to fall upon is kind of what's causing this.
Dead on, yeah. It's rubbish to be in that situation, but yeah.
So yeah, as a part of kind of the closing bit of the video, I thought we'd do a little bit of a different sort of bit of content. So I thought, just as we've got Alfie on here, we'll kind of do like a bit of a prediction, see who wins each trophy at the end of the year, and yeah, we'll kind of finish up on that. So
we gotta do Prem. You want to start off with that one, or are you too scared to start off? And then we'll leave that one to last.
Right.
Let's go for the smaller cut. So conference, I'll go for the Conference League.
I don't even know who's in it.
Only Chelsea.
Chelsea will win it.
Chelsea are going to go. That's why I rang out, because it's an easy one.
Yeah.
Next one is obviously a big one for Spurs, is Europa.
I think it will be Spurs. I think the trophy drought ends here. I'll be honest.
Honestly, I'm the most confident I've ever been about winning that Europa League. I just feel like it makes sense. It makes the most sense, and it's a good enough trophy for Spurs to win.
Yeah.
But they can't play.
Can't
Teams can't be like,
banter it, yeah.
he should banter it. Obviously, it isn't the Champions League, but it is also good. And obviously, Son's final season will be next season. To see him lift the trophy, I used to say if I could see Kane lift the trophy, I'll literally be in tears.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But now, obviously, he's gone. I'll be more happy if he wins the Champions League, which I'll go on to in a moment. But seeing Son lift the Europa League will just be like perfect. So I'm going to go with Spurs as well for that.
No worries. And champs, Liverpool.
Really? Straight in with
I
that?
think so.
Oh my God, man.
Bro, I look around Europe and I don't see many teams.
Madrid super squad. I mean, they're against City, aren't they, for the playoffs?
Yeah, I just... let me get this out of the way. Apart from Madrid, I don't see any team that kind of can compete with us over two legs. When it comes to Madrid, I'm just basically praying that they get knocked out before we have to play them.
I don't want to go too much on a tangent, but how does that work?
So they're on the other side of the bracket. That's a playoff to get into the round of 16.
So it's literally just one game, whoever wins.
No, 2 games, 2 legs.
Okay.
Yeah, home and away.
There's a good chance that Wembley won't even be in the round of 16.
Yeah.
And who else have you got really in there? You got
City, you got like Inter. Probably you're looking down at
because on the Europe, like PSG, are just dead.
So I think Barca.
Are they in chance?
Yeah, the only way we play them is if it's the final because we finished first and second.
It's just Barca though, isn't it? It's always going to be tough.
But
I don't see them winning the Champions League.
Nor do I see them beating us. I think when you look at our different teams and where they're sort of at with progression, I think we are a bit ahead of Barca.
Yeah.
You know, they've got more of a kind of a young squad that's still kind of growing and gelling together. Whereas,
I don't know if you saw that
he's
everyone.
versus Atletico Bilbao. Mad.
But anyway, let's go. So okay, I'll probably agree with you. Say let's Liverpool, but I'm not gonna agree with you.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a rogue shout and say Madrid again.
Okay,
but
I can see that.
And Madrid take you to the final.
It's one or the other in my opinion.
Then what else we've got? Then we've got the domestics. So
let's go Carabao.
I reckon. No, I'm going to be humble. I'm going to say Newcastle win it.
Right. Okay.
I'm going to say that even if Spurs get to the final tonight or not, or you get to the final, I reckon just Newcastle will win the whole thing.
I think we'll beat Newcastle in the final.
You're going for a treble. Oh, we'll just see, I guess. So yeah, then we've got FA Cup, haven't we?
I think Arsenal. I think they're gonna get
that. Arsenal. I can see Spurs going far as well. I think if we don't win Europa League, we've got a very good chance of obviously FA and Carabao. But if we're gonna drop one, I reckon we drop out of the FA, or obviously we drop out of Carabao tomorrow.
Yeah, I see. I mean, I think we're at the semi-final now. It's a favourable draw for us being at home in the second leg, and I think we are just going to have a little bit too much for you.
About for Spurs,
yeah, and then going into the final versus Newcastle potentially, I just think that their inexperience in situations like this versus our experience in winning those trophies, I think is going to prevail and kind of lead us to win it.
So you're saying Liverpool for Carabao, Liverpool champs. I'm going to say Newcastle for Carabao as well.
And then FA Cup.
FA Cup, I'll go for. I'm never predicting Arsenal to win anything. I mean,
good lad. I couldn't expect anything less.
You know what? I'll go for Spurs for the FA Cup as well.
We love it.
We're doing it.
We love it.
Cup
from
double,
no trophies to 2 in one season.
And obviously the big one is the Prem. I'm just going to straight up say you easily won it. I reckon. I think this. I just don't even feel like it's going to be that much of a competition. I reckon there might be a little bit of I reckon in about 6 or 7 game weeks time you're going to have a little bit of a skew if you're going to play Arsenal. You're probably going to draw or beat them, and it'll be like the rest of the season.
So this will be the first time this season you guys will hear me say it, but we're going to win the Premier League.
Oh my God! So this is the kind of hopeful thinking that a Spurs fan brings on to someone because
spending all day with Alfie has made me realise we're going to win it.
Fair play. I mean, I don't see it. I would probably say that you might get a double. I'd say Prem and probably one of the domestics. And if not, obviously Champions League. So good luck to you.
We'll
come back at the end of the season and we'll see what the Europa League badge.
Well, maybe if you win the Europa like we predicted, that's going to be a Champions League badge next season.
Hopefully.
Obviously, for myself.
No, he's going to flex now.
Yeah, we've got the wrong shoulder 6 times. So love this shirt and love the Champions League.
Sweet.
Brilliant. So thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Our very first guest in Alfie. It's been a pleasure with him as well.
And it's very good, even though the outrageous Spurs shouts. But we'll see at the end of the season when we've got a double, won't we?
And when we've got our treble. So thank you for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you at the next episode.